I just wanted to do a little video, just an instruction video on a little bit of illustration I like to do. I like to start with the finest point ink pen to do the base of my illustration, and here I'm using, I really like the Pentel hybrid Technica pens. It's from their arts line, and I'm starting off with the 0.3, which is the finest point, and I like I have the 0.3, 0.4, 5, 6, all the way up to 8. I like these pens because they're not waterproof, but they're really good, even though for this piece I'm not doing any water media, but I like to get the base of my illustration down and then layer it up with some of the darker inks. I'm also really loving, and I really like to use the Pilot G2s. The ink that comes out of the Pilot G2 is amazing. It's super black. It rolls so nice. It's really meditative to lay down the ink on paper with the Pilot G2. They're not waterproof, but like I said, this is a dry media piece, so I'm not worried about that. But after I get the basic, the foundation of the illustration, I like to go back in with some color shading. My favorite, I am using color pencils for this demo, and I really love the polychromes from Faber-Castell, and the amount of pigment that comes out of these pencils is amazing. They're super soft. If you use a blending pencil or some sort of a blender, there's lots of different types of blenders out there on the market you can use. I have a hard blending pencil that I like to use, and I also use a kind of a liquidy based blender pen. But I do recommend for dry media pencil work, they're quite expensive and that's the problem, but the Faber-Castell pencils are amazing. Lately I have been on a dark and desolate tree kick. I think mostly because I live in the state of Oregon in the Pacific Northwest, and this summer we had some pretty devastating fires in an old growth section of one of our larger forested areas, and I am an avid hiker, and the devastation was upsetting. I know it's a natural part of life and the biology, the ecosystems, although this was unfortunately a man started fire by a young person, but still. So I'm on this kick with dark trees. But I love it. I love them actually, and so the inspiration was the devastation from the fire. But now that I've been drawing them more. They fit my style. They're dark and kind of, luminous in the background, so I'm gonna stick with that for a while. I get a lot of my inspiration for, I would say, that the feeling of my illustrative work from, I have a large collection of older children's books, and just, ink, black and white type illustration, not a lot of color, if color, minimal, and darkish in content, and I love the feel. I was so mesmerized as a child by, as many of us were and are, mesmerized by children's books and children's illustrations. It's like a fantasy world that you can just get lost in and, pretend like you're not dealing with reality at that time, and it's kind of fun, and I like getting my inspiration from there. And this is a quick video, it's not real time, so I am planning on putting together a couple lessons in a class on just dry media, illustrative type work with dry pencils and maybe some pastel and charcoal, just to put a few lessons together. I'm trying to get as many up on YouTube as possible, but time. So I thought that this one is a good start, at least for inspiration, if anything, and maybe you'll learn a few techniques from this. But if you wanted to get more in depth with me and watch a few more lessons, I will have that upcoming class coming. It should be up by the end of the month, end of November 2017. So look for it on my website. I also wanted to mention that the paper I'm using is it's a recycled, as you can see, brown paper. It's a heavier weight. I can't remember the name of the company, but I'll get that in the class videos. But I really like starting with a brown paper. It really gives a good soft tone base to the start of your piece. Yeah, and so once again, for the dress there, I was talking too much, but I used also a Prismacolor marker, just to kind of give some depth a little bit to the skirt. And then I'll just finish it up with the polychromes, and that will be it. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you.